This video is brought to you by the official Flashy Instagram. Follow Flashy Magazine for updates on pop culture, reviews on music, and so much more. You guys know a lot about me. I pour a lot of energy and passion into my channel to make my videos as personal as I can. But something that I think you guys would be surprised to hear about me is that I actually don't listen to pop music that often. My go-to genre is R&B, specifically the late 90s and early 2000s R&B. From the soulful melodies in The Diary of Alicia Keys to the angelic vocals in Mariah Carey's Butterfly, these albums are what fill up a great deal of my music listening experience. However, an album from this era that I often feel gets overlooked is Christina Aguilera's 2002 project, Stripped. Prior to this album coming out, Christina was seen as nothing more than a product of the teen pop craze. This project completely changed that perception though, by authentically showing Christina's transition from child star into womanhood. In this video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into this project and discuss why I believe the message of the album was truly ahead of its time. Let's get into it. Christina Aguilera was born in Staten Island, New York, to a European and Ecuadorian lower-class family. Her mother worked as a Spanish translator, and her father worked in the US Army. Due to her father being deployed in different locations, Christina never had much of a home life. In fact, she would describe most of her childhood as hostile, due to constant bullying at school as well as her father being abusive at home. When situations got toxic, she found solace in music. And after Christina's grandmother heard her powerful voice, she convinced Christina to start going into singing competitions. Christina's first big break wouldn't happen until 1993, when she joined the cast of the Mickey Mouse Club alongside castmates Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears, the latter becoming a close friend to Christina and later down the road, a rival. After the show ended, Christina was offered to sing a song titled Reflection for the Mulan soundtrack in 1998. The soundtrack became essential in convincing RCA Records to offer her a record deal practically the same week when the song came out. She happily accepted, but there was just one problem. Her co-star Britney Spears had already taken over the world by storm. Britney's 1998 song Baby One More Time was an undeniable smash that reintroduced teen pop to the forefront, leading RCA Records with only one mission in mind: push their own version of Britney through Christina. And that's exactly what they did. On June 2nd, 1999, Christina's teen pop anthem Genie in a Bottle took off practically overnight. The media would be quick to call out the similarities between the two artists. And if we're being totally honest, there was a lot to compare. A sexually ambiguous first single? Check. A choreographed music video? Check. The baby stylized version of singing? Check. The only difference was that Christina had the better voice, but she didn't have the personality. Britney was naturally good at playing up the conservative image. Christina had attitude and sass that made her childlike image look unbelievable. Nonetheless, Christina's first album was released, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard charts, as well as scoring her a Grammy for Best New Artist. Despite this being an amazing accomplishment, Christina herself was not happy at all. She was overworked and, more importantly, hated the image her team created for her. So after the album came out, she fired her personal manager and began adopting a more adult image, with skimpy outfits, a darker tan, and a nose piercing. The media and her male peers often criticized her and bullied her for her new persona. For example, in the 2001 MTV VMA performance, Christina performed with rock artist Fred Durst. The performance was heavily criticized, to the point where Fred lied and said he only did it because Christina promised him sex after. Then, at an MTV special for her song What a Girl Wants, Christina praised rapper Eminem's music video, but also condemned songs in which he justifies domestic violence. Eminem, ignorant to Christina's history of abuse, retaliated quickly by slut-shaming Christina in one of his most popular songs ever, The Real Slim Shady. In less than 30 seconds of his verse, Eminem accuses Christina of giving him an STD as well as giving head to both Fred Durst and MTV host Carson Daly. While Christina tried to deny the rumors, the damage was done. The media spread these rumors like wildfire, and soon enough, the only person who didn't have control of Christina's narrative was Christina herself. Rather than feed into the media monster, Christina took these experiences and constant media shaming to pen her most important body of work, Stripped, an album for the first time where she had full creative control, writing nearly all of the songs. Christina goes back to reflect on the struggles she dealt with 3 years in the music industry, and teaches us life lessons she learned on her journey to womanhood. In the beginning of the album, she hits the world with a feminist-inspired song titled Can't Hold Us Down. In it, she calls Eminem's slut-shaming lyrics out, stating if you look back in history, it's a common double standard of society. The guy gets all the glory the more he can score, while the girl can do the same, yet you call her a whore. The song continues to call out men and the unfair double standards women are put under in society. Later in the album, she tells the story of her first boyfriend. The Latin pop song Infatuation honors her Hispanic roots by detailing how she fell into the rhythm of love with her background dancer, Jorge Santos. But perhaps one of the most important songs on the album would be her infamous single, Dirty. On it, she becomes exactly what the general public had always criticized Christina for being, a sexy, raunchy icon. The video especially became a catalyst for public outrage, but Christina didn't care. She got to liberate herself from all societal expectations and truly be herself. Many contemporary pop artists have even praised the impact of this album, with both Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez citing it as an inspiration for their transitional albums. The theme of owning your sexuality has made this album the blueprint for pop artists to follow till this day. Christina Aguilera's Stripped is an album that, in my opinion, was judged too early and was not appreciated enough for its transparency and commentary. At the time of its release, the world was in a completely different place, and to be that sexual and that commercial offended so many people that it lost its message. Critics couldn't take a step back to recognize that the overall idea of this album is not to convince teens to be raunchy or erotic. It was the idea that you should be able to choose who you want to be. To be truly stripped means to bare your soul without fear of judgment. And in a world where we're still constantly judging one another, I'd say those are some pretty good words to live by.